Although cassava is in a more favorable position than other root crops, fewer resources are allocated to cassava research at both national and international levels than to other crops, particularly grains. This lack of resources negatively affects technology development and transfer to farmers. Under the present economic crisis facing third world countries, underfunding for research, development and transfer of technology for cassava continue to limit the development and application of better agronomic practices. Nigeria is also suffering under this burden.
Let me be very frank with you. We've been progressing in this country. One step forward, two steps backward. I was in an institution for 25 years, mainly a research institute, CUM University, that's Ahmadu Bello University. And we knew the input of the government into conducting or into the implementation of the research that led into various recommendations in this country, which were adopted initially. Unfortunately, some of those recommendations were not followed up. Some of the trials that were started were not completed. What happened? Fund became limited. The donor agencies also were already becoming a little bit fatigued because Nigerian environment was not even suitable for it. If the money we got by BNG was given to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, you may find out that not more than 1/3 will get to the real researchers. And that is the truth. I'm sorry, the issue of corruption is actually affecting agricultural development in this country. It's a little bit better than what it was in the past. There's no doubt about this. But with the noise being made, one would have expected more. One would have expected more. Again, sometimes it's more politics than the action.
Professor Segun Lagoke is a professor of weed science at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Apart from not giving the situation in the sector a pass mark, he is deeply concerned with the situation here at Olabisi's farm, especially after discovering another predator feasting on the cassava.
Zonozeros vereketus. It's a very devastating pest, and it could destroy a whole field of a crop, not just cassava alone, within days.
Is it different from locust?
It's different from locust, but this is also called something locust because it behaves like locust. When it descends on an area, it's almost completely wiped because it feeds on the leaf. It defoliates the plant.
What can the farmer do now?
So just spray with, because it's not so diverse, the population is not much now. Just spray with karate, you know karate?
Karate,
yes. Just spray with an insecticide, karate, spray various spots. And if you can locate their breeding points, also spray. But if you don't, just spray this thing and they will go.
Yeah.
Then, in some cases, the unpredictable climatic situation, that's erratic onset of rainfall. The fact that you cannot predict rainfall nowadays. So what farmers also need is very good insurance policy that will enable them to be able to make some claims on crops that have been destroyed as a result of environmental problem or natural problem. Things are not always rosy with farmers. They could also face some challenges. I've mentioned the issue of labor and so on and so forth. You have even some of the varieties that have been acclaimed to be disease tolerant or resistant were also showing some signs of breakdown also. These are challenges farmers could face, and there is a need for people to look into this also.
To him, weed is something that is not taken seriously but can cause a complete loss. In one of his papers, he referred to weeds as witches in agriculture.
Once you do not control them, and you have enough space for them to thrive. They want to thrive because that's their own natural environment. When you try to change the environment, they also want to struggle and they want to fight back to make sure they occupy their environment. And that's what we are doing. In crop production, you want to get rid of them and put your own crop, your own desired crop. But the weeds also want to fight back to make sure they occupy their environment. And that's what's happening. You don't get the labor when you need them. When they come, you get them in trickles, and they're very expensive. And those ones that come in trickle, they do the weeding over time. By the time they finish one area, the weeds have already grown, and they've almost overgrown the crop. And that's what exactly we experience. And that's the problem. And that is why the issue of the use of herbicides becomes very pertinent in this case, where you apply your herbicide pre-emergence, and then you can come later on with post-emergence herbicide, and you can sleep. At least that aspect of weed management, which is a major constraint, will have been taken care of. We came up with a National Advisory Committee of Weed Controls document, talking of using mectin as measures. You measure one mectin into a big container of a sprayer and carry it on your back. Once you are trained on how to do it, and you move, pace your 1 meter per meter, which is normal. Apart from measure indicating that you apply so much per hectare, we actually came up with another document that translated that into mectin, which will happen to be a common thing people use. Use it to measure whatever you want to measure, depending on the quantity you require or volume. Pour into the distance and fill the sprayer. Shake very well, and then move around, move ahead, and spray your place.
Almost all the cassava produced is used for human consumption, and less than 5% is used in industries. As a food crop, cassava fits well into the farming systems of the smallholder farmers in Nigeria because it is available all year round, thus providing household food security. Compared to grains, cassava is more tolerant to low soil fertility and more resistant to drought, pests, and diseases. Furthermore, its roots store well in the ground for months after maturity. Cassava is important not just as a food crop, but even more so as a major source of cash income for producing households. As a cash crop, cassava generates cash income for the largest number of households, in comparison with other staples, contributing positively to poverty alleviation. Unfortunately, not many can enjoy this. Many household farmers still grumble about the difficulty in accessing funds and support.
I want to plead, because I'm not the only one in this kind of a situation, I know. Though the federal government, they are trying their best by giving us, they say they have different programs for agriculture. But most of these things are not getting to the right place. Like last year, they said they sold fertilizer. I bought mine, even from those that bought the government fertilizer. They said the government sold it, I think 5,500, two fertilizer, 5,500, and a small bag of maize. But I bought one, 4,500, with pleading from somebody that bought it. I think they should help us. Maybe there should be some agents that will try to reach us. Let them know we truly have the farm before they will give the necessary assistance they have. We really need help. Personally, I need help because I have passion for it. So if help is coming forth, I don't mind going any lengths.
The IITA's Sustainable Weed Management Technology is seeking to find solutions to the labor-intensive weeding, usually performed by women and children, and to increase cassava productivity for 125,000 Nigerian families.
Farmers here do not have really worked out decision-making support systems. They decide day to day based on their experience from the previous years. And if they are not exposed to new things and new approaches, they will continue doing, and they will continue staying at their 12, 13, 14, maximum 15 tons per hectare. At the moment, what's the root price? yeah, you guys, it is extremely low. Yeah? People start refusing to harvest because it is about 6,000 naira per ton, 1,000 kilos. If you have an average yield of 12 tons, you're talking about a total income of 72,000 on 1 hectare after having worked for a whole year. That is not likely to be really profitable and sustainable in the longer term. My own assessment is you need to go to 20-25 tons. Yeah? You practically need to double. Then you're not exposing yourself to the price fluctuations as badly. Yeah? Okay, they can say I can wait until it's 10,000, but half of it will be rotten by then. Okay, so you make still the same money. Yeah, you get a little bit more per ton, but the number of tons coming out of the ground is no more the same. So there is a whole lot of things. And agronomy today does not look at how do we increase the yield. That is just one step. We need to increase profitability and the sustainability. Means next year, what are we doing with this land? Is it exhausted or can we still use it? What do we need to do to be able to continue producing 15 or 20 or 25 tons of cassava here? That doesn't come from the variety, that doesn't come from the intercrop. Then you have to think about fertilizer. How much? Which one? Livestock integration. Okay, at this time of the year, of course, you don't have many leaves. But let one single rain fall, it will take 2 weeks and you have a nice fresh canopy. We will throw all of that away. It will rot. It could go into goats and sheep and something, and then come back as manure, which is way more valuable than having the leaves rotting on the surface or taken away by the termites, whatever it is. So we really need to think about the bigger picture of having this land converted into land that will guarantee us crop production, not for 5 years, not for 10 years, for 50, for 100. Look at East Asia. Rice production in the same land for 1,000 years. We are far away from that. And we need to think about what kind of investment, what kind of technology is required to put Nigerian soils under cultivation where they are profitable and can continue producing for a more or less infinite time frame.
The project has the potential to serve as a livelihood transformation model for all cassava producing states in Nigeria. The ultimate aim of this research is to develop state-of-the-art weed management practices by combining improved cassava varieties with proper planting dates, plant populations, and plant nutrition options. These particular practices may include the use of herbicides, all of which currently meet globally accepted conventions and safety thresholds appropriate for smallholder farmers, to make weed control in cassava more efficient. Any herbicide activity will be part of a comprehensive strategy of effective agronomic practices that are collectively striving to make weed management more effective and sustainable.
Experts in the field are saying there is the need for government to provide enough research grants for the study and control of invasive weeds in the country. They are also emphasizing that it is cheaper and better to prevent the spread of weeds than controlling it once it has spread. We will be keeping track of the developments in this field, but for now, that's how we close Earthfile today. Do keep a date with us next week, but remember, you can reach us anytime and anywhere by writing to our inbox at file@channelstv.com. I am Ayola Kasim. Thanks for watching.